92. We've got the Smithsonian institution as a deterrent posture at the moment, and I'm concerned that neither the Russians nor
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. President Trump and the First Lady are headed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina right now, where they'll meet with military families and the members of a special forces unit that carried out Operation Absolute Resolve in Venezuela. That, of course, is the operation that landed deposed Venezuelan president and accused narco-terrorist Nicolas Maduro in handcuffs and in a U.S. jail. Real America's Voice correspondent and host of Breaking Point, David Zier, already at Fort Bragg right now. He joins us live with the very latest. David, good afternoon to you.
Hi, good afternoon, Terrence. Yes, we got some confirmation that it's wheels up for Donald Trump in the air with FLOTUS. Melania Trump scheduled to come here and speak at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time to the airborne troops here on the ground at Fort Bragg. But we hear that he's going to speak with the Delta operators who will not be seen in public. Of course, Delta Force formed in 1977, almost 50 years old. They helped capture Saddam Hussein. They took out al-Baghdadi in 2019. They killed ISIS leader Abu Sayyaf. They've been very active and very successful here. And also, you know, you have to keep in mind that if things go south with the Iran talks, that troops from here, 82nd Airborne, 18th Airborne, Pope Air Base, which is neighboring here, which is kind of meshed with the 82nd Airborne, can deliver troops anywhere in the world within 18 hours, could be deployed for special operations as we have our second carrier group, the USS Gerald Ford, steaming over there. So we'll see where that goes here. But this place has a rich history, Terrence. The 18th Airborne out of here, U.S. Army Special Operations, Delta, JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command here, SOCOM, which was, you know, came out of the Desert One and Operation Eagle Claw, which was aborted to rescue our hostages in Iran when we had that plane and helicopter crash at the FARP, the forward refueling post accident there. And SOCOM was born out of that, where they can dip into any service, anytime, and coordinated strikes around the globe. And just to add, you know, the strike here in Venezuela was probably the most sophisticated one in our history, according to Pete Hegseth. And with 160 aircraft, 35 helicopters, Delta operators on the ground, they came in, finished the mission, high tech, taking out their radar defenses with their complicated Russian SAM, 400 defense systems. They never knew we were coming. We were in and out of there, and intelligence on the ground helped us develop that since 2020. So Trump is here to congratulate the troops for doing that. Again, maybe meeting with Delta operators here, and it's an exciting day on the ground for Fort Bragg. This place is amazing. We got the best soldiers in the country here.
Absolutely. You mentioned Pete Hegseth. Will he be on hand as well?
I heard that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth will be coming to Fort Bragg. I don't know if he'll be in this speech and ceremony here. We'll keep you posted if we get that information. But we do know that Trump is either landing soon or has landed and will be on his way up here probably in the next half an hour. The troops are excited. We got about 500 airborne troops here. Salt of the earth people. We're at the paratrooper training facility over here. We got the flight line behind us where they jump out of the C-17s and load up on the C-130s to jump, and the training facility on the other side of the building with a mock door and a mock setup for the newbies. Just salt of the earth people here.
Absolutely. 30 seconds. Fort Bragg is really home to the best of the best. You mentioned Delta Force. There are Rangers who are stationed there. There's the 81st Air Force, 82nd Airborne. This is really home to the best of the best.
There's no doubt about it. And when you mesh that in with former Pope Air Force Base, which is now Pope Field, they can strike anywhere, anytime, deep in the heart of any enemy territory, sure. And they never know we're coming.
Absolutely. David Zier reporting for us live on the ground in Fort Bragg, where President Trump's set to arrive at any moment now. We'll have live coverage of that for you throughout the day. In the meantime, let's get you back to your regularly scheduled programming.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now. To the factories, from small towns to city streets. This is the fight for the soul of our nation.
We're watching Democrats attack democracy. Do not be fooled.
The strength, the grit, the greatness of the American spirit, all right here.
The left wanted power, not peace, but there's a resistance rising. A generation saying enough, enough. We've tried it their way, and it failed.
The Steve Gruber Show with your host, Steve Gruber, starts right now.
Here on the program, glad to have you along for the conversation. Fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. Making sure you have the right person shoulder to shoulder with you is more important now than it's ever been. That's a fact. Let's get rolling. Three big things to cover here this hour. Number one, Cuba is teetering, ready to fall. No jet fuel. Electricity only available 2 or 3 hours a day. And the place has run out of hope, too. It's only a matter of time. Maybe Cuba can be free after all. It's a matter of weeks, folks. Cuba is going to fall. Number two, the search for Nancy Guthrie now in week 3. We need to be honest now. This is most likely not going to end well unless there's a miracle at hand. The case has picked up speed, but it seems like it's probably too late. And number 3, there is a moment in history when a civilization either remembers who it is or slowly apologizes itself into irrelevance. And if you're paying attention right now, you can feel that moment building. It's at hand. The American people are tired of being told to shrink, to doubt themselves, to act like the greatest force for freedom the world has ever known is somehow something to be ashamed of. The mood, however, is changing. You can feel it in the culture, in the politics, and in the way leaders are starting to talk about America and the West again. I saw it on display just recently over the weekend when our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, delivered one of the best speeches on preserving Western civilization I've heard in a very long time. He encouraged Europe to stand up for the ideals that made it great, hearkening back to the resurrection of Western civilization at the end of World War II. Listen to this.
But together, our predecessors recognized that decline was a choice, and it was a choice they refused to make. This is what we did together once before, and this is what President Trump and the United States want to do again now, together with you. And this is why we do not want our allies to be weak, because that makes us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it.
Now, the Trump administration
Plan AHS.
Don't kibble your dog.
Oh, hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, back.
But what's wrong with this? It's premium stuff. Oh, hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, back.
But what's wrong with this? It's premium stuff.
Let's check it out. It's still kibble, which means it's ultra-processed at extremely high temperatures that destroy the nutrients in the food. But at Dr. Marty, we gently freeze-dried premium meats, fruit, and vegetables, locking in their nutrients.
Never kibbled.
You got it, kid, and they're gonna love it.
When surprise breakdowns happen, American Home Shield will be there to fix or replace parts of the systems and appliances you rely on every day. They help protect your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping
Healthier for our children.
Boy, was that beautiful. We're not here to watch the decline of the West and just passively just say, well, that's okay. We're just here to steward its decline. No, sir. Absolutely not. He wanted to describe the kind of alliance that we want with our European partners, and it's right on the money. We've been rightly criticizing NATO over the last decade and here for a long time as well. But if our alliances could look more like what Rubio describes, that'd be good not only for America, but for the entire world. One more comment.
An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond its control. One that does not depend on others for the critical necessities of its national life. And one that does not maintain the polite pretense that our way of life is just one among many, and that asks for permission before it acts. And above all, an alliance based on the recognition that we, the West, have inherited together. What we have inherited together is something that is unique and distinctive and irreplaceable. Because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond.
It certainly is. When you see American leaders standing on the world stage talking about defending Western civilization, talking about strength, talking about confidence, it signals something bigger than policy. It signals a shift in mindset. For years, we were told America needed to step back, that leadership meant apologizing first and acting second. Now you're seeing a return to the idea that peace and stability actually come from strength, from clarity, from knowing who you are and not being afraid to say it out loud. And when you zoom out and look at the world right now, you can see why this shift matters. Look at Cuba. I'm going to say something that people will call bold, maybe even crazy, but I'm saying it anyway. Cuba will fall within 8 weeks. That's my prediction. Why? Because regimes don't collapse when they run out of slogans. They collapse when they run out of fuel, when the lights stop working, when planes can't fly, when daily life becomes impossible. Cuba is out of oil. They have virtually no fuel for aircraft. Electricity in many areas is limited to just a few hours a day. That's not a stable system. That is a regime hanging on by a thread. History shows this pattern over and over. Authoritarian governments can look permanent right up to the moment they're not. The Soviet Union looked permanent, Eastern Bloc regimes looked permanent, and then suddenly they weren't. Systems built on control and scarcity always hit the same wall, reality. And when that wall hits, collapse can come fast. Big things are coming. Big things are coming. And that brings us to what really matters politically going into the midterms. 5 factors. 5 that could shape everything. Number 1, the economy. Not the abstract economy that economists debate on TV, the real economy, the paycheck economy, the mailbox economy. The economy that's heating up right now as we speak. And when tax returns start landing in your mailboxes, boom. That's when voters feel it personally. Listen to this woman.
Trump's big, beautiful bill promised no taxes on overtime. My husband works 6 days a week as a machinist at Anheuser-Busch so that I can stay home and raise our 3 kids that are all under 5. Big, beautiful bill just made it so that he did not have to pay taxes on any of that overtime. Our refund is huge this year. Thank you, President Trump. You came through. We just got a fat, fat check coming our way.
A fat, fat check. You see, people don't vote based on policy white papers. They vote based on whether they can pay their bills, and we're going to have more on this. I got 4 more points. You should be encouraged today, not discouraged, about the midterms. I'll continue with a positive message. After this, welcome to the week. It's the Steve Gruber Show.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
Hello, this is Kurt. Why do I love Rav? If you ever talk to the hosts, you can do that on Rav. And the Rav family, they'll talk back to you too. Let you know what's going on. Take care.
Howdy, Rav fans. This is Warbringer here. Love you all. Rav is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat.
Hey y'all, it's Nancy from Texas. Real America's Voice gives us truth, not propaganda, and we need that. Thank you so much.
All right, like I said, people don't vote based on white papers. They vote based on whether they can pay bills, buy groceries, fill up their gas tank, and maybe even save a little for the future. When people feel financial momentum, political momentum is soon to follow almost certainly. That's number one, again, the economy. Number two, the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act. I believe it gets across the finish line one way or another. We've got 50-some Republican senators voicing their support now. And I think we could even see a reasonable Democrat or two join the ranks, like Senator John Fetterman. Listen to what he says.
So you're not there on the Save America Act specifically just yet, but you're there on the principle of voter ID. Is that what I'm hearing?
What I'm saying, though, that states, whether it's like Georgia or other states, you have ID to vote, that's not a radical idea. Now, some people can agree or disagree on that, but it is not a radical idea. And many states already do that. And Wisconsin already ratified that in their constitution. Wisconsin elected a very liberal justice, and now almost 2-1. They voted to produce ID to vote and put it in their constitution. Wisconsin, you have Baldwin, very liberal, and Johnson, very conservative.
Yep, there it is. Of course, it's not Jim Crow 2.0, and good on Fetterman for breaking with his party and stating the obvious. Like I said, I think this bill is getting passed. And the reason is simple. Overwhelming public support. Americans want election systems they trust. They want clarity, transparency, and verification. That isn't radical. That's basic democracy. When people believe elections are secure and honest, they participate. Confidence is the foundation of any system that depends on public consent. Number 3, this is a big one, the Supreme Court decision on the racial gerrymandering case out of Louisiana. I'm going to make a prediction here. A 6-3 ruling coming in June. If that happens, here's something you might not know. It freezes the redistricting plans in places like California and Virginia, where race has been used as a primary factor in drawing maps. That would force those states to use existing maps rather than redesigning districts in ways that could dramatically shift political power. Meanwhile, Texas stands because it didn't structure its maps that way. And if Louisiana ends up being restructured under stricter constitutional standards, you could see 3 additional GOP seats emerge alongside the gains expected out of Texas. That's 8 seats. Congressional math can shift fast when court rulings come into play. Number 4, another lawsuit. This one out of Mississippi. Targeting election counting beyond Election Day. This is massive, too. It doesn't get nearly enough attention. Right now, it looks like a 5-4 vote because Amy Coney Barrett's a little weak on this one. If it goes that direction, it could dramatically limit prolonged vote counting periods. Many Americans believe elections should produce fast, decisive results, not weeks of counting and counting and counting and uncertainty. And number 5, yeah, I think this one could happen, too. Peace in Ukraine. Tomorrow, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner will participate in trilateral talks with representatives from Russia and Ukraine in the afternoon. I think a peace deal is closer than you might think. Russia reportedly suffering some staggering losses. That's what NATO Chief Mark Rutte said at the Munich Security Conference over the weekend. Listen to this.
But also an understanding on Ukraine that the Russians are reaping up staggering losses day in, day out. 35,000 dead in December, 30,000 dead in January. So where they want to perceive the Russians as a mighty bear, you could argue that they are moving through Ukraine at the stilted speed of a garden snail. And let's not forget that. Let's not fall in the trap of the Russian propaganda.
Nothing stabilizes global politics like the end of a major war. Energy prices stabilize. Shipping stabilizes. Markets calm down and American voters exhale. When voters feel stability, they reward leadership they associate with strength and resolution. Put all 5 of these together. Economic acceleration, election integrity legislation, constitutional clarity on redistricting, faster election results, timeliness, and movement toward global peace. And you're looking at a political environment that heavily favors strength, messaging, and stability. Focused leadership. But underneath all of this is something deeper than elections. This is about identity. Where is America? Where is it? Are we still the country that rebuilt the world after World War II? Are we still the country that led the technological revolution? Are we still the country that defeated actual fascism, pushed back communism, and led the free world through the most dangerous decades in modern history? Are we going to be that country that second guesses its own success? Because here's the reality. Freedom has never spread by accident. It spreads when strong nations believe in themselves enough to defend it, culturally, economically, and militarily when necessary. And right now, it feels like something is shifting back toward confidence and clarity, back toward the idea that America doesn't have to shrink to make the world better. And historically, when America is confident, when America believes in itself, the world tends to become a lot more stable, not less. That's the moment we're walking into right now. Don't fall for the lies. Stand up for the truth. And if that's true, the next few years aren't just going to be politically important. They're going to be historically important. Have some faith. Now, everyone knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner, whether it comes in the form of a crippling winter storm or a pandemic or something much more mundane like a tick bite. You and your family need to be prepared, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. The Wellness Company. Doctors like Peter McCullough are here regularly. The Wellness Company and its doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their line of prescription medical kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you and your family safe and healthy. Whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, or the travel kit, these prescription kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Now, rest assured, knowing that you have emergency antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics on hand to help you keep you and your family safe. Just go to twc.health/Gruber today and order. That's twc.health/Gruber. Use the promo code Gruber. You're going to save 10% right now. These medical kits are on my shelf. In fact, they're right here. Right here. Within arm's reach. They should be for you as well. twc.health/Gruber. Save 10%. When we come back, a preview of the Forgotten America podcast that launches this morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube. We'll tell you how to find it. And hear our first guest, Kyle Rittenhouse, right after the break.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
Followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light.
All right, how about a reminder that today, 9 o'clock Eastern time this morning, the first episode of Forgotten America, the podcast with myself and Ivy, will drop on YouTube. You can become a subscriber real easy. There's a QR code we can put up for you. We'll get to that in a second. But first, a preview of the conversation. Here it is with Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well, look, Steve, we both can agree that it was stupid. We can all agree that it was stupid for me to be down there. I was 17 years old. I had no business being at a riot. I should never have gone, but that does not take away my right to self-defense. The only thing I would have done different, if I would have known I was going to be violently attacked and maliciously prosecuted, I would never have gone there. I would have stayed at home, would have let the city burn down.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse has been out of the public eye for quite a while now. He gets death threats daily, but he admits, I should never have been there. I was 17 years old. Gone into hiding, death threats every day. He moved to Texas, changed his whole life, got married. It's quite a conversation. This morning, 9 a.m. on YouTube. Click subscribe when you get there. It'll drop at 9 o'clock today. You can listen to it anytime you want. Like all of the episodes here, it's all on YouTube. It's a great place for you to be. We picked up a few hundred new subscribers in the last couple of days. You should join the movement. All right? You should join the movement. Kyle Rittenhouse today, 9 a.m., Forgotten America. We'll have all sorts of voices. People you know, people you don't. Oh, yeah, big stuff coming your way. And it's fun to do. No commercial breaks. We just get to talk to somebody for 45 minutes or an hour, maybe even longer, depending on the conversation. It's President's Day, and for one day only, Patriots Relief is stepping up in a big way. If aches, pains, or everyday discomfort are slowing you down, today is the day to act. Right now, you can take 47% off store-wide. But it's good for today only. 47% off, one day only, in honor of President's Day. The banks may be closed, the kids might be home from school, but Patriots Relief is open for business. Call 877-230-1776. 877-230-1776, or visit patriotsrelief.com. Again, it's 47% off store-wide today only. Your President's Day special at patriotsrelief.com. All right, I'll take a break and be back. We've got a lot to talk about. President's Day replaced Washington's birthday. Why is that? A little more history for you after the break.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
From powerhouse vocalist Natasha Owens, known for standout singles like Trump One and Somali Waltz, comes her brand new release, The Boss, released on Real America's Music. This is the direct response to Bruce Springsteen's recent release, The Streets of Minneapolis. While Springsteen once branded himself as a voice of the working class, The Boss gives a voice to everyday Americans and reminds listeners who truly shapes the future. The Real America's Voice audience has the power to move charts and shake the industry. Download it right now. Scan the QR code or search The Boss on iTunes. Push it up the charts. Make them notice.
Well, into a brand new week as we kick it off here. Glad to have you on board, and I hope you'll go check out the podcast today. We're going to shift gears. It's President's Day, right? President's Day, but wasn't it Washington's birthday once? It was, and then President's Day replaced Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday with President's Day to honor all presidents. Richard Battle is an award-winning author and media commentator to explain, well, why that happened. Richard, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Steve. Thank you so much for having us back with you again.
I guess we don't get the day off. The kids are off from school. The banks are closed. Should have been a banker, maybe. Anyhow, besides all that, let's talk about the history at hand here. President's Day. Why President's Day? Why not Washington's birthday as it used to be?
Well, I think it's interesting that Washington's birthday was first celebrated in 1879. And I can remember as a youngster having Washington's birthday as a holiday and Lincoln's birthday as a holiday.
Right.
But in 1971, the country came on this kick about having Monday holidays so they have long weekends. And so the Washington and Lincoln's birthday were combined into President's Day and moved to the third Monday of the month. And that seems innocent in and of itself, but to me, it's so disrespectful of President Washington especially, and also Lincoln, because it makes them equal with the other presidents, which makes them no better than the other presidents. And to me, it's a disservice to our children that we don't celebrate Washington's individuality and his example for them as they're growing up.
Yeah, you know, I learned something here recently. There are two indispensable presidents, Washington and Lincoln. For if not for those two, we would not be here today, you and I. And I learned that before the election of 1864, Abraham Lincoln wrote a letter to the nation because he thought that the Union could lose. And he sealed that letter and he said, in the case that we lose the war, you can open this. Of course, we didn't lose the war, but then he died and the letter was opened. It was an apology to the nation. Accountability in a real way. That's what stands people like Lincoln apart from everybody else. It was accountability saying, I failed. I failed. He had doubts even as late as 1864 on the outcome of the Civil War. This is why he stands above the others, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. And just think about this. When we have young kids, we don't celebrate their birthday on a Monday so we can have a 3-day weekend. We celebrate their birthday on their birthdays. And so when we celebrate Washington and Lincoln's birthday with every other president, it says they're not important. And when we do it on a fake day every year, that says they're not as important as a little kid's birthday. We need to celebrate Washington's birthday on the 22nd, Lincoln's on the 12th. If we want to have a President's Day for the rest of them, I'm okay with that. But we need to separate and highlight Washington's character, because that's what's missing today from a lot of our elected leaders, is that same character and honor that Washington and Lincoln possessed.
Yeah. You know, most revolutions end the same way, with another person coming into power and taking over the power vacuum of those before them. And Washington could have done that. They offered him the chance to be king of America. He said, no, I'll take the presidency. And then, after 2 terms, he walked away. He walked away from that power. That was unprecedented in world history, wasn't it?
Well, exactly. And that's what's so interesting. The King of England, King George, who he had beaten in the Revolutionary War, said that if Washington voluntarily gave up power, he'd be the greatest leader of all time, because we don't see that today. We've got 92-year-old people running for re-election to the Senate. We've got a Congress seat in your state that's been held by the same family for close to 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's been almost generation after generation. And Washington realized that if the country was going to survive and thrive, that we needed to develop and bring in new generations of leadership and ideas, not have one person be the leader for their entire lifetime.
You're referring to the Dingell family, of course. I'm not sure when they first took that seat. John Sr., John Jr., and then his widow, holding the same seat for decades on end with the same left-wing policies that have become even more bizarre over the years. Washington walked away from power and set a precedent that, by the way, was followed until the 1930s, when FDR ran 4 times and won 4 times before his death on the 12th of April, 1945. But then, of course, it's law now. You can only serve 2 terms. And that in itself is an honor to the first president, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And Congress ought to be as selfless as Washington was. His character, he wasn't ambitious. He didn't look to rule people. He served. I mean, he sacrificed and left Mount Vernon and served as our commander-in-chief, went back to Mount Vernon, then went to the Continental Congress to have the Constitution, and then served as president, then went back to Mount Vernon. He did not look to rule over people for his life, but it was a servant leadership before that term was even coined. And I think it's so instructive for us, and we need to highlight that and celebrate its uniqueness and teach that to our children and future generations.
Yeah, Richard, the The challenge with President's Day, of course, is once there's a national holiday codified, I guess I'll just steal from Ronald Reagan, another great president, that, basically a government institution is something that lives on forever. So President's Day is never going to change. That's the battle you're up against, sir.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way, because we celebrated Washington and Lincoln's birthdays as holidays, and they changed it before, and they changed holidays in 1971 to be the Mondays. So it can be done and should be done if we want to revert them to their proper place in history. The only person who celebrated with a holiday today is Martin Luther King Jr., and I would put to you that Lincoln and Washington are at least equal, if not greater, than he was.
Yeah. I celebrate the 12th of February every year. That's Lincoln's birthday. It's also my anniversary, so it's easy to remember, you see. So we celebrate that in our household in a different way, I guess in a special way. And Teddy Roosevelt, I celebrate his birthday every year because it's mine. So, we've got a couple presidents circled on the calendar. So there you go. I'll give you the last word.
Well, I'm just grateful that Washington was the person that he was. The more that I study him, he was the GOAT. I mean, he is the example and the prototype of what every American should aspire to be from a character and honor and civility situation. And we need to be revering him more and teaching him more to raise up future generations of free citizens who can extend the self-governance and the individual liberty that they gave us, he and the other founders.
I agree. Richard Battle, you can find his book, Americans Who Made America, richardbattle.com. You can find out more. Richard, great conversation, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Always my pleasure. God bless America.
God bless America. There you have it. We can do that on President's Day, can't we? Yeah. Yeah, we celebrate Lincoln's birthday. TR gets some special recognition around here. I was born on his 107th birthday. You do the math. I'm not doing it for you. All right, there you go. Check it out. Greatly appreciate it. I'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to find something that keeps you. Maybe we can make you 107 years old with the right product. Maybe. I'll take a break and be back. It's the Steve Gruber Show.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
Followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
From powerhouse vocalist Natasha Owens, known for standout singles like Trump One and Somali Waltz, comes her brand new release, The Boss, released on Real America's Music. This is the direct response to Bruce Springsteen's recent release, The Streets of Minneapolis. While Springsteen once branded himself as a voice of the working class, The Boss gives a voice to everyday Americans and reminds listeners who truly shapes the future. The Real America's Voice audience has the power to move charts and shake the industry. Download it right now. Scan the QR code or search The Boss on iTunes. Push it up the charts. Make them notice.
Make America healthy again. It's become a battle cry, hasn't it? People want to do better, treat themselves better, have the right things in their body, fuel their body and their mind, right? That's why my next guest is here. Real ingredients, making a real difference in the real world. Joe Rica is VP of Sales at Longevity Wellness. Joe, welcome back to the program.
Well, good morning, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Always good to have you, my friend. Look, we just got back, Ivy and I did, from a few days of skiing. We were worn out. We were tired. First thing we did, we didn't take it with us. Mistake. We got back. We had some longevity just to kind of feel like we needed to refuel our bodies and our minds and get back on track. It is the go-to for us in this household, longevity. It is a wellness drink, but it is so much more. And when I say make America healthy again, you guys use real ingredients, real products to make a real difference and deliver for your customers every day. Tell the folks the ingredients and the things that this will benefit when you use longevity.
Well, I love it. And that's exactly right, Steve. Here at Longevity Wellness, we use real food for our nutritional drinks. So what you're going to find in Longevity is 22 natural vitamins and minerals. And this is what I love. I love reading the ingredients on here because when we get our vitamin and our mineral blend, we get it from real whole foods. Foods like broccoli, spinach, kale, pumpkin, sunflower seed, kelp, sweet potato, maitake, shiitake mushrooms. All of those natural ingredients from bioavailable sources, meaning that they grow in farms and are not grown in labs. There's nothing synthetic in Longevity. You're going to have 16.5 grams of protein, of collagen for your hair, your skin, your nails, your joints, 25 grams of protein to help build your muscles, bovine colostrum for immunity, DHA and omega-3 oils for brain health. And let me tell you, Steve, the best thing about Longevity is that you can mix it up with anything. You can use water, you can use milk, you can use orange juice. And I want to show your viewers just how versatile Longevity is. In fact, I'm going to mix up this chocolate shake that comes in the single-serve bottle. I'm just going to mix that up with water, because water is so easy. It's so quick to do. You just put the water inside of there, give it a couple of shakes, Steve, and it's ready to go. So now you have your chocolate Longevity ready to go. Let's say, for instance, if I want my strawberry. I love having my strawberry Longevity with actual milk because it gives it that little bit creamier texture to it. So I already poured my 2 scoops of Longevity inside of there. And I'm going to put my Longevity inside of the shaker bottle just to show you how quickly and how easily this Longevity mixes up. Just a couple of strong shakes there, and it is ready to go. In fact, I even have a glass right here to show you how easy it is. Already mixed up, ready to go. So there's your strawberry. And this is one thing that I love about the vanilla too, Steve, is I have a vanilla right here, and I'm going to add some orange juice into the vanilla, because that's going to make it taste kind of like an Orange Julius. If you really want to get that authentic Orange Julius taste, you can add a little bit of ice into it. But watch this, Steve. I'm just going to mix this up really quick. Couple of shakes. And guess what? It is ready to go. And you have Longevity in so many different varieties, so many different ways that you can do it. It's healthy, it makes you feel better, it gives you the energy that you want, and it gives you the vitamins and minerals that your body really does need, Steve.
And my secret here at the house, because I see 3 great plans right there, Joe, of how to put it into your system. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, all of those different things. I do something a little. I add milk and ice, and it turns it into a frothy. It's almost like a milkshake. We do it, which I like the chocolate. But the beautiful thing about what you said there is you can get all of these great ingredients, all these great nutrients, all this great nutrition, natural nutrition, like you said, broccoli and kale and sunflower seeds, all there. but you can make it the way you like it. You don't have to say, oh, this is the flavor and this is all you get. No, you can experiment a little bit. My son actually mixed vanilla and strawberry together. He gets a little crazy. He went, oh, let's try this. Kids are, try it out, and see how it comes out. And so you can find the flavor that you like. But the takeaway is, no matter how you do it, you're going to get good nutrition. Now, if you add a little orange juice, get a little bonus. You add a little milk, get a little bonus, right? Anything Absolutely. You want, any formula you want, with a little extra kick depending on what you mix it with, right?
Absolutely. It's simple to do. With the powder, you can add it to water, milk, water, milk, orange juice. You can take the powder, you can put it in your fruit smoothies, you can put it in pudding, you can put it in applesauce. It is very, very versatile. And at the end of the day, Steve, it tastes amazing. It's a simple way to get you what your body needs so you can feel good. And when we feel good, life is just good, Steve.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you ever tried this trick, and maybe this isn't on the to-do list, but there's one other thing we did here recently, and it was really good. We added just 1 scoop to pancake mix. Hello, you got vanilla pancakes. Yep. It was great. So there's other ways you can use this, but the takeaway is still the same. Brain health, gut health, overall better feeling, getting the nutrition you need. So if you're a kid in sports, you can boost your nutrition when you're really draining your body at 2-a-days in football, for example. If you're older and you're like, I'm not sure I'm getting enough nutrition, you can make sure you're getting what you need from longevity. If you're on a weight loss plan of any kind, certainly one of those GLP deals, you can make sure you're not losing bone and muscle. It's all right there, isn't it?
It is, and it's simple to do. It's 1 shake a day, 1 drink a day, and you're going to have you're just going to feel better, Steve. And what I love about this too is I get calls from customers that are taking longevity on a daily basis, and they tell me, they're like, Joe, I'm taking longevity every single day. I have the energy. I feel good. My bones don't ache, my back isn't sore, and I just feel better, and I just feel good, and I feel happy.
I guarantee you, next time I go on a skiing weekend, I'm going to pack the longevity. That was a mistake on my part that I will not make again, because we needed that at the end of the day. Now, for you folks listening, longevitywellness.co. Use the promo code Gruber. You'll get a special discount. If you become a subscriber, so it just comes to your house every month, you get a little better price yet. Longevitywellness.co. You're going to be glad you did this. Joe Reek, always appreciate you being here. Great demonstration today. Thank you for that.
My pleasure, Steve. You enjoy your day, and we'll see you again soon.
There you go. All right. Again, longevitywellness.co. The promo code is Gruber. Special discounts for you for being part of this program. And if you get a subscription like so many people do, you'll save even more money. Longevitywellness.co. Promo code Gruber. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
Followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
From powerhouse vocalist Natasha Owens, known for standout singles like Trump One and Somali Waltz, comes her brand new release, The Boss, released on Real America's.
All right, a reminder that today at 9 o'clock this morning, the first episode of Forgotten America will drop, the new podcast with me and Ivy. Our first guest, Kyle Rittenhouse, coming back into the public spotlight for the first time in years. There's a reason he decided that now was the time. He had left the spotlight because he got death threats. He really believes he never should have been in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Back when this all went down, he killed 2 people and shot a 3rd in defense of his life, acquitted of all charges after a lengthy trial. But why did he decide to come back now? Here's why.
They killed and murdered my friend Charlie Kirk. They've attempted to assassinate President Trump 2 times and failed, but they've gotten worse as time has gone by. And my question is, when does the violent left stop? When do we put a stop to all of the hate in the violent left's heart to where they want to stop taking our lives away from us and attempting to stop killing us?
Yeah. The murder of Charlie Kirk was profound on many of us. Kyle Rittenhouse as well, clearly. When are they going to stop trying to kill us? I think it's a pretty fair question, right? Here's a story that I'm going to get into this week. Here's just a preview. The Department of War transported a next-generation nuclear reactor over the weekend. Something totally new and different. It's been shipped from California to Utah for testing at the San Rafael Energy Lab in Orangeville. It's going to be a big deal. We need more energy than you can imagine for data centers and AI and everything we need. We're short materials, silver, for example. That's why there's been such volatility in the silver markets. You need silver to create these data centers and smartphones and everything else. But this new, we need energy. And Donald Trump opened the door for this after years of nuclear energy being, pushed out by the radical left. It's back. We're pushing forward with remarkable speed. Today's episode brought to you by PuroClean's Veterans Initiative, PuroVet. Be ready to be your own boss. Join a trusted brand and serve your community in a new way. 855-PuroVet or purovet.com. Remember, to see the podcast Forgotten America, you just need to be a subscriber over there at YouTube. It's a growing community. Great folks. The QR code on your screen, click that. It'll take you straight there. Or just look for Steve Gruber on YouTube. You can watch it at your leisure. Listen to it in the car, whatever you please. 2 more big hours straight ahead here on the Steve Gruber Show. I'll be right back.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated